let's talk about the Sharks. I mentioned it earlier. They did start the season. They lose in overtime 5-4 against St. Louis on Thursday. Macklin got his first goal, and it took only 7 minutes to get it. He also got a primary assist on Tyler Toffoli's first goal as a Shark. And Macklin was down behind the net. He centers it forward, and Toffoli's there, puts it right past the goalie.
It's like he lives with Jumbo or something.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that was a vintage Jumbo move right there. The Sharks did have a 4-1 lead going into the third period, but the defense and the goaltending deficiencies from last year, they kind of showed up again. So that was unfortunate. Then on Saturday they host Anaheim. They end up losing that game 2-0. It was 0-0 for most of the game. Anaheim scored 11 minutes into the third, so like it took them quite a while to get onto the score sheet. And then they added an empty netter to kind of put that game to bed, seal the deal, so to speak. Upcoming games, you're at Dallas on Tuesday, at Chicago on Thursday, at Winnipeg on Friday, and versus Colorado at home on the 20th on Sunday. And that's a game.
You know that meme.
Yeah.
You know that meme with a basketball player where like he's just shaking head in disappointment, and then he realizes something. Goes, I'm thinking this. Like, it sucks that the Sharks have lost both these games, but we're in first place for another first round pick. Sorry, you were saying against Colorado.
Yeah. So Colorado, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be at that game. So hopefully they can put on a pretty good show. I'm not expecting a win because Colorado is a contender, but it'd be nice. I wouldn't be mad.
It's like they have one of the top hockey players,
Yeah, I got a couple of really good ones over there, Nathan McKinnon and whatnot. So I'm just looking at the schedule. I think our win of the week. I think that's a segment we should bring back. So just on a whim.
I'll let you go first, even though it's my birthday weekend. But I'll let you go first.
Right. So I'm going to take Chicago as your win of the week.
You son of a bitch.
We can both take it.
That's what I'm taking. I'm taking Chicago.
Okay. All right, so I'm just adding that to our spreadsheet so we have it. Okay, and then so there we go. And Sam can chime in if he has a win of the week as well. At Chicago is going to be a little bit tougher because it's on the road, but so we'll see what happens. At least it's on the front end of the back-to-back. It's not on the back end, so
battle of first, man. That's gonna be I wouldn't be shocked if that becomes an ESPN Plus game, unfortunately.
Right. So. I mean, we'll see. So Sharks news. Let's talk. Unfortunately, Macklin Celebrini was fighting that lower body injury during training camp. Apparently, it was not healed. He was just able. He was able to suit up for the opening night game, and then they put him on.
18 years old.
Yeah. They put him on injured reserve, so he's going to be on injured reserve for 7 days at minimum. The soonest game he could be back for is the game we're going to on the 20th on Sunday. But they're calling it week to week right now, so we just don't know if it's going to if he's actually going to play or not. I hope he does. But if he's not, you know what? Yeah. Honestly, it's this whole rebuild is bigger than an early season game against Colorado before Thanksgiving, even, there's bigger things in mind than an early season game. And if he's not ready to go, I don't want to see him out there. I want him 100% going forward. I get the importance of opening night and just kind of flashing a little bit, saying like, see, look what I can do. It's it certainly builds confidence for when he comes back. And I just hope the rest of the team can kind of hold down the fort until then. Also, so switching gears a little bit, the Sharks are going to be using the hashtag "the future is teal" for this season. So if you're on social media, that's the one you want to use. So when you're talking about how much you wish Macklin could play, hashtag "the future is teal." When you're interacting, and then maybe you'll get some notice and meet some other Shark fans as well using that hashtag.
I mean, look, I hope he plays on Sunday, given that I just bought his jersey. But you're right, man. It's much bigger than one game. But a part of me thinks he's a gamer, And
Yeah.
Colorado was one of those games that if he can, he will suit up just to it's a measuring stick, like how good am I
Right.
against these kids?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm supremely confident that when he comes back, he's going to continue to be, just racking up points and setting up sweet dimes, lovely little apples for Tyler Toffoli and William Eklund to put in the back of the basket.
yep, I
So
agree.
um the board of governors meeting happened at the beginning of the month. So Commissioner Gary Bettman said the league and the NHLPA are going to begin negotiations on the next collective bargaining agreement in the new year, and they hope to have it finalized by the end of the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. The current CBA is set to expire in September 2026, so this would basically be a full year ahead of schedule. And let's not forget that this is the league that lost the entire 2004-2005 season and half of the 2012-13 season due to lockouts. And that 2004-2005 season was especially hurtful to me because the Sharks were in the Western Conference Finals the year before, and they were like on the doorstep. That 05 could have been the year, like that could have very well been the year, but it ended up not being. And then, but 2006 was when they made the trade for Jumbo. So,
I mean,
you know,
nobody could disagree that I I vehemently think these players do not get paid enough for what they do and
mhm.
how much their body takes to skate and hit a puck 100 plus miles per hour while also getting absolutely clobbered by a gigantic human being who's also trying to take you out of the game. Essentially, it's call it what it is. These guys do not get paid enough. They
Yeah.
don't. They really don't. And
Yeah, hockey players are just a whole another, beast, man. These guys are absolute gamers. Yeah, so hopefully these negotiations are not, tense. I would love for everybody to just come in there all honky dory, happy, kumbaya, holding hands, getting down to the circumcising mosquitoes portions a year in advance. That's the phrase that Jerry Jones used when talking about the. Tim looks very confused. So
yeah,
when the NFL was talking about their negotiations with the CBA, that was the term that Jerry used when they were so close and they were working out the really small details. He called it circumcising mosquitoes. Like,
yeah.
so stupid.
Jerry
But
Jones has also said some other questionable things. More
oh yeah,
recently,
yeah. Jerry's not the moral compass to be said, but a funny line is a funny line, and I got to give him credit. That one was a funny line. So stick taps for that, bud. Stick taps for that. Um, okay, so the league also has set a preliminary salary cap for next season at an estimated 92.5 million, but they also stress that it's too early to confirm that that's what the number's actually going to be. But if everything holds to where it looks like it's going, that salary cap's going up again. So
it's
more
crazy. It's
room to
not even
sign
a
more
hundred
players.
million. It's
I know, right?
crazy.
Um, they also said when asked, there is no talk of expansion into Houston, Atlanta, or other markets yet. But I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I think the NHL is gonna be the first league to get to 36 teams. Um,
They're the
because
most dialed in. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, you could argue that the Sharks have like one of the oldest stadiums. Like they're probably the
they
only ones.
do. Yeah, they actually
So
do.
outside of that, everyone's pretty much dialed in. All their stadiums are relatively new. There's no issues. So yeah, I could
Mhm.
definitely see Houston, Atlanta being on the docket. For the
Yeah,
next
I mean,
2 years.
Atlanta just need like it sounds like that they're building the stadium like an arena right now specifically for hockey because they don't want to use the where the Hawks play. They want their own venue, and I totally get that. Because while you can share an arena with basketball and hockey, the sight lines just aren't perfect. It's a different
Yep.
sports require different seating arrangements, configurations, and whatnot. And Utah is actually putting $900 million from the state government into the Delta Center to be able to make it work for both hockey and basketball. So and Houston has been like clamoring as well for years, And if they can find somebody to actually get an arena built in Phoenix or in the Phoenix area, they'll go right back to Phoenix. I know that for sure. Like that market is too huge. So
Yeah.
there's three markets right there. I know Kansas City is, ready. They have an arena already built and they don't have a basketball team or a hockey team. They're just ready to go for whoever wants to step up first, you know? Quebec wants to get a hockey team back. They missed the Nordiques, but I don't think they're going to go there right away anyway. So yeah, there are plenty of markets available, ready and willing to take on a hockey team. Schedule. Let's see. One more note. Schedule changes proposed for the next CBA include lowering preseason games to 4, moving the regular season games to 84, and starting the season as early as October 1 in an effort to award the Stanley Cup earlier in June, which I actually do like that. I don't,
Yeah, everything about that
yeah.
sounds perfect.
Mhm.
Um, I
I
know.
know that regular season and preseason games, they're not it's not a one-to-one change, and that's kind of what they're asking for right now. But you get more, with the league expanding, they could use those extra 2 games, and then suddenly you can actually play everyone in your division the same amount of games,
I guess my only concern, if you're going to have the cup earlier in June, is you're going to be competing a lot with NBA, and that's and their playoffs. So
No, they already do. The finals for both leagues happen at the exact same time. So right now, the NHL is trying to get out in front of the NBA.
it's going to be tough, man. It's
Yeah,
going to
it's
be
a little
tough.
tough, but I mean, if you're awarding the Stanley Cup right around the time that game 1 of the NBA finals is happening, I think that's a win for the NHL, you know.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm pretty sure they had down viewership this past year, um, which it's what happens when you have Boston playing. So a lot of people are going to watch. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Boston fans out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so
Yeah.
but yeah,
All
no,
right.
I'm all for this.